everybody, welcome to Ages Cozy Crochet Corner, where today on the corner we are going to be doing bucket hats. So this bucket hat is going to be with a pentagon at the top. So we're going to slightly change it up from my last tutorial. If you haven't seen it, check it out, where we did just all granny squares. So the hat that I'm wearing right now is different from the one you saw in the front, but it's the exact same hat. I just added an extra row just to give it a larger feel, and I changed up the brim a little bit, and just did the brim in the front. But this is not the hat we're working on. The hat we're going to work on is this one. Okay, so absolutely adore this hat. I love the brim. You'll see in the video I wanted a straight brim because I wanted to be able to just tilt my brim any kind of way that I wanted it to go, and it gives it character. It has a nice feel to it. So this is the one we're going to be working on. Don't forget the other one, I just added an extra row and just did the brim just in the front half. Okay, so let's get to the tutorial. Let's get to the tutorial, and let's have some crochet fun. Okay. Let's go. Okay, everybody, so we're at the table. We're going to be making that pentagram and granny square bucket hat. So we're going to need 5 granny squares, and each are 4 rows, and I'm making the one with a 5mm hook, and I have my colors that I'm going to use to make the pentagram. Now the pentagram I'm going to show you. The basic granny square, you can find that on my page. I'll link it to this if you need to know how to make a granny square. And what we're going to do right here is we are doing the 4 rows. There is only a chain 1 space in between each corner. In between each granny square, we are not putting a chain 1, only in the corners. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make a granny pentagram. Now also we'll need our scissors, and we'll need a yarn needle in order to weave in our ends at the end. And so I let you know, these squares, these granny squares with 4 rows are all right. So I'm going to move this out the way, and of course I'm just using scrap yarn for this project, so you really don't need much. And which order I'm going to go in, I don't know. We're going to see where the wind blows. We're going to start with this pink though, and I just want to get my yarn on my hook, and I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to push it up. I'm then going to chain up 3, and I'm going to insert my hook into the first chain, grab my yarn, come back up. Now I'm going to pull this down and slip stitch through there. Now I'm going to chain up 3. That 3 is going to represent our first double crochet, and I'm going to go in and place 2 more double crochets, and that is our first cluster of 3. I want to chain 1, and I'm going to go back into the circle, and I'm going to make 3 more double crochets. And then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go back into the circle and make 3 more double crochets and chain 1, and again 3 more double crochets into that circle and chain 1. Now if we were making a regular granny square, we have 4 cluster of 3. That's how we begin, but because we're doing a pentagram, we need 5 corners. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go in one more time and do 3 more double crochet. And chain 1. Now we're going to slip stitch at the top of the chain 3 that we begin with. And I am done with this color, so I'm going to cut that off, chain 1 and pull that through, pull it down. Now we have 5 chain 1 spaces, and this is our base for our pentagon. So now I'm going to go into one of the chain 1 spaces. I'm going to grab another color, go with this peach. I'm going to grab my yarn and pull it through that corner and chain up 3. This chain 3 is going to represent a double crochet, and now we're going to go in and make 2 more double crochets. This represents a corner. We'll finish that corner when we come all the way back around. So now I want to yarn over and go into my next chain 1 space and make 3 double crochets. I'm going to chain 1 and go back into that corner, because these are now all our corners, and make 3 more double crochets. Yarning over, I'm going to go into my next chain 1 space, and I'm going to make 3 double crochets. Chain 1 and then go back into that corner and make 3 more double crochets. So that's our corner. Our corner we see is 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. And we'll go on to the next chain 1 space and place another corner, 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets. And the next one, 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets. Now we're back to where we started, and we have to finish this corner. So we'll yarn over, go inside that corner and place 3 double crochets, chain 1 and slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 that we begin with. Finish with that yarn, cut it. And now I'm going to enter into another corner, and let's pull out this aqua color. Grab my yarn and add it on into a corner and chain up 3, representing a double crochet. We'll go back in and place 2 more double crochets. We'll finish this corner up when we come back around to it. And now we see that we now have a pocket in between our corners. You yarn over, go into the pocket and make 3 double crochets. And now we have our corner. So we'll go in our corner, and our corners get what our corners get, which is 3 double crochets. Chain 1 and 3 double crochets. Now we come to another pocket in between our corners, and we'll place 3 double crochets there. So we're going to go all the way around the rest of this in the same way. Our corners, where our chain 1 space is, we're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. And our pockets, these little spaces in between our corners, we'll get 3 double crochets. We'll go all the way around until we come back to our first corner. Okay, so I've gone all the way around and I've come back to my first corner. Now we must finish that corner. So we're going to yarn over, go into that chain 1 space and put 3 double crochets to finish off our corner. We'll chain 1 and we'll slip stitch at the top of the chain 3 we began with. And I'm done with that color. Cut that off. Now I'm going to be joining all of these. I have one more row to do, but I'm going to be joining everything with this color because this is going to be the color of my brim. But I think I want to bring this color instead of doing the yellow because I already have a square in yellow. We'll get rid of this. And I think I want to go around, use the bigger one. Go all around with the color that I will be joining in, as well as the brim will be done in, because this one will be at the top. So I'm going to finish off with this color. So I'm just going to find another corner to begin with, add my yarn on and chain 3 to represent that double crochet, and then I'll put 2 more double crochets into that corner, and we'll finish that around when we come back around. Now you see we have 2 pockets now in between our corners, so those get just 3 double crochets. And then we have our corner, so our corner gets what our corner gets. 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 double crochets. So this our 4th and last row. We're going to go all the way around here, doing everything that we just stated. In between the spaces, we're going to place our 3 double crochets. Our corner gets what our corner gets. 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. And when we come back here, we will finish this off with 3 double crochets into that same corner, that chain 1 space, and then chain 1, slip stitch into the chain 3 we began with. So I've gone all the way around and finished that corner. So I'm going to slip stitch, chain 1, pull through. So I am done now, and now I have to piece this all together. So what we want to be looking at is this. It's going to be 1 square on every side. So all we want to do is go all the way around and join these together. Now I'm going to do a continuous join where I won't stop. So I'm going to start here and go through the corner. Enter into both corners. And chain 1, and then go back into both corners and make a single crochet. And now I'm just going to match stitches, the first stitch here and the first stitch on the other side, and make a single crochet, and the next stitch here and the next stitch in the back and make a single crochet. And we're going to go all the way to the corners, matching stitches with single crochets. Okay, so now I come to the end and I want to go through this corner and the corner on the Pentagon and make my single crochet. Now I'm not going to cut my yarn off. I'm just going to keep going around. So I'm just going to turn this and grab the next square. I'm going to go through the corner of the next square and then go back through that same corner that we just worked in and make a single crochet. And now again, just lining these up till I get to the next corner and joining them together with that single crochet. And now I'm back to the corner, so we want to go through both corners, make a single crochet, and then we want to turn it around, get our next square, go through the corner of that square, and then go through the corner which we just finished in and make a single crochet, and then keep going on. And we'll do this all the way around, just adding in our squares as we go around. Okay, so I've gone all the way around, and the last thing I want to do is I want to slip stitch into that first corner that I began with, okay? Just to bring it all together. And then I want to chain one and pull through. So now that we have this and we got this continuous join going all the way around, we want to join from this corner all the way down here, then cut off and join from this here, this here, this here, this here, and each one of these will be done separate. So I'll do one with you. Let's do this one. I'll do one with you just so you can see how it's done. We're going to enter this corner here and this corner here, and just as we've been doing, we're just going to join this all the way down using our single crochet. So nothing different here. We're just doing each one of these by themselves. And again, I'm joining in the color that I last did my row in, because it as well will be the color that I use to do the brim in. So I want to bring it in here. Trying to put down as many ends as I can with while I'm crocheting. It'll save me in the end when it comes time to weave in everything. And I'm ending right here in the corner, cutting my yarn, chaining one and pulling that through. So we're going to do that in each and every last at each and every last granny square. We'll join them all, and then we'll come back in and we'll start our brim. Okay, so I have finished joining all of my squares together. Now, what I like to do, what I'm going to do, is I want to extend this just a little bit more. If you try yours on and you don't need to, then you don't need to, but I like to extend mine when I'm working in this shape and design. So I'm going to join on one space, chain up 3, and I'm going to be making, and that holds as my first double crochet, and I'm going to make 2 more double crochets. So just as when we were building our squares and our pentagram, we're going to go into all the pockets, and we're just going to make 3 double crochets. Now for my corner, what I want to do is I don't want to make a cluster of 3 double crochets here and 1 here. So I'm kind of going to put them together. So we're going to yarn over and into this corner. We're going to go in and make 1 double crochet. For our next double crochet, we're going to go inside the first corner, grab our yarn, come up, go inside the next corner, grab our yarn, come up, and now I'm going to take off 3, and then I'm going to take off 2. So we see we joint those corners. And then for my final double crochet, I'm going to go into this corner and make my last double crochet. So we have our cluster of 3, but that is how we work it over the corner. Double crochet here. We're going to connect those with our double crochet and then double crochet here. And then we keep going on, and I'll demonstrate that one more time on our next corners. And we'll keep making our 3 double crochets. And we come to this corner. So again, what I want to do is go into the first corner and place a double crochet. Into the same corner, go in, grab my yarn, come up. I have 3 loops on my hook. Now I want to go into the next corner, grab my yarn and pull up. I have 4 loops on my hook. Grab my yarn and take off 3 loops. And now I'm going to grab my yarn and take off the last 2. And then go into the last corner and make my double crochet. So I hope you caught that. You can replay that one and catch it better. And then we want to keep going on. So we'll do that all the way around till we get to where we started. Okay, so now that I've got back to the beginning, I want to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 that I began with. And I'm going to chain up 1. Now that we have this done, we want to go around our whole piece with single crochets. Right now, at this point, you already know if you want your hat to have a straight brim, a wavy brim, what kind of brim you want. Now for the first row, I'm going to go into the first single crochet, which I've already done, and then the second one I'm going to go in and place 2 single crochets. So 1 single crochet, the next one 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, and the next one 2 single crochets. And I'm going to do that all the way around. This is going to be the only time I increase on my brim, because I want my brim to be straight. If you want your brim to have more ruffles, then you might want to do additional rows where you increase in every single stitch, where I am doing 1 and then 2 in the next. So I'm going to continue doing my 1 and then 2 in the next. Alright, and I'll meet you back at the beginning. Okay, so I've gone all the way around, and I am going to, oh, I forgot one stitch. I am going to slip stitch into that first single crochet that we created. I forgot to bring my stitch markers to the table because I stay using yarn. So you can place a stitch marker so you can see where you are, so you don't miss your spot. I'm going to chain up 1, and I'm going to go into that first single crochet. Now I told you I want a straight brim, so I'm going to single crochet all the way around here. About 6 rows. If I decide to do more, I'll do more. If I decide to do less, I'll do less, but you'll know. But I'm about to do about 6 rows, a single crochet all the way around. Now again, if you want more of a ruffle, you can increase as you see fit, in the same way in which I showed you. And that plays around with, again, different amounts of wavetry. I just did another bucket hat. This is all granny squares. The tutorials on my page, and you see how I do have a slight wave. The first row here, I did all single crochets, and the second row I did just like we did. I did just like we did on this one single crochet, 1 increase. Now on the next row I did 2 single crochets and 1 increase, and then the next 2 rows were just holding that wave, because I wanted a gentle wave. So that's just to give you a different idea of how you are creating your waves on your hat if you want them. So the more increases you do, the more ruffly or wavy it will get. We're going plain here, so we're not going to give it any more of an increase. So I'm going to go ahead and put my desired row amount here, and I'll come back in and let you know what I did. Okay, so I got to the end of my hat, and I slip stitched into the first single crochet that we made, chained 1 and pulled through and cut my yarn to end off the hat. I did 6 rows all the way around, and as you see, I have that more so straight brim. And again, this is where your character comes in. If you want it more ruffly, I showed you how to do that. You just want to increase in the beginning more than we did, and you'll get more and more and more and more ruffles. I wanted this one straight, so I could just give it a slight little pull up wherever I wanted it to. So I'm going to show this one on one more time. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you add your flavor and your character and your personality into your colors, as well as into your brim. So let's look at it one more time.